Good morning, everyone. How is everyone doing this morning? Whoops, wrong button. Hope you're all doing well. I myself am doing just peachy keen this morning. Feel like today is going to be a good week. Guess it's only as good as we make it, huh? I'm determined to make this one a good one, so. Good morning, Mr. Ed. So, hope you're doing well this morning. Don't think you worked last night because I saw you post a non-knife pick, a non-work pick in the middle of the night. Morning, Mr. Keep It Scale Stupid. What's going on with the burst of energy, Mr. Ed? What have you been doing to alleviate that or remedy that? Been making lanyards nonstop? So in my front pocket last night, I can't even talk this morning. I had my Land 140. And in my back pocket, I had the knife I said I was carrying yesterday in the Discord, which was my Vosteed Nightshade shilling cutter type blade. And the reason I had my Land 140 playing with knives, chilling, playing with knives, and watching TV. That sounds like a good evening. It's probably what I would have been doing if I wasn't at work. So the reason I carried my Land 140 last night is because I got in my new Land 140S, which is the Land 140 Small. And for some reason, I got the gold one. I have no idea why. I think I was thinking I was going to bead blast it, and the hardware was already silver on this one, maybe. And that's why I got it. But this knife has excellent action. It is quite a bit smaller than the original, than its big brother, but looks exactly the same, except for the two body screws versus one body screw. Pretty cool that they made a small version of this knife. This knife is one of the best value big titanium knives, I think, in existence. You could get this one for $70, $80 back when it was out. And that's a crazy price for that much knife. Oh, Ed, yeah. Well, stay strong, buddy. I believe in you. You did good. Maybe. Hopefully. And if you didn't, it'll be all right. So that's kind of why I carried the 140 last night, because of this one. I need to lay it over there just because it's cool seeing it next to its big brother. And then also yesterday, I had this in my back pocket all night, my other back pocket. But also yesterday, I got these three boys. So halfway through the night, I swapped out with a couple of these. And these knives taught me something that I hadn't realized until these knives. And it's pretty cool realization to come to. And that is, people are going to ask me, what do I think of this knife? Because it's the newest clone, one of the newest clones. Other people have not had, did not seem to like the original knife for different reasons. I can kind of figure out those reasons. But if you look at all three of these actions on these knives, they are absolutely perfect. Perfect detent, perfect hydraulic drop, perfect milling. And these knives feel like now, so the last few knives Lemifshi has released have started to feel like what I will say a Lemifshi knife feels like. And the OEM that he's working with, whoever that is now, has finally gotten it down to where they're producing the same feeling knives time after time. So just like anybody that can feel a Kubey OEM knife kind of can tell how that Kubey feels, well, whoever this OEM is getting to that point to where they all feel very similar. And now this knife, it's kind of hard to judge these knives based on what model they are. That's all just ergonomics. The feel of them is pretty much all the same. And so even though I might not like some things about the ergos of these knives, the action and milling and quality control of all these is excellent and is on par with what I would call a Kubey OEM knife. They're all using caged ceramic bearings, and I don't know any of the big companies that are doing that with all their models. The detent on these is very snappy, and the last couple of knives he's done have been very snappy. So even though I might not like the jimping at all on this knife, I mean, it's got pointless jimping here, they still feel like great action. And I flicked each one of them 100 times during the night, and they've all three got like hydraulic perfect action, great snappy detent. Now there's some faults with this knife. This flipper tab is one of those ones where if you don't get your finger out of the way pretty quickly, you're going to hit the blade. Luckily, I don't like flipper tabs, so I mean, y'all know I delete them on a lot of knives. You just have to get it out of the way, and after you learn that about the knife, it's not a problem. Something else about it, there's only really one position you can hold the knife in, and it's right here. But luckily, with my hand size, it gives me the perfect platform to lay my four fingers on. And this jimping, like I said, is totally pointless. That should be way better. But it's comfortable. The width is comfortable. Everything about it's great to me. You can choke up on the flats here, and that's the only other real position you can hold the knife at. It's got, you know, just this exaggerated finger notch here, and nothing else going on. So those are really the only two. I mean, you can do other grips if you want, you know, but I'm talking about just holding the knife in your hand. It defaults to right there. But the quality of them is starting to feel like what I would call, that's why I said I was so excited for the next year of clones, because they're getting them dialed in using the same OEM over and over, and that OEM is being able to repeat stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if they use like the same thickness on the scales on a lot of them and use the same pin size on a lot of them, and the bearings are the same in all of them. So they're getting to like where they're really dialed in, and I swear they feel like Kubey OEM knives, like the Bridgeport knives, or like that's basically what they feel like. So if somebody asks me, do I like this knife, you got to rephrase that, because yes, the build of this knife for $90 with properly heat treated steel is a wonderful knife. Perfect action. But the model is where the ergos all start changing then. So it's kind of like they're making these clones that all feel the same. These recent few have feel great, and then the shape is the only thing that's different, which is fine with me at the quality level they're at now. I wouldn't want some of the earlier ones to be repeated over and over again, but these, I don't mind if they're all like this. And the last few have been, so, you know, I can't complain. I wouldn't want to spend, this knife is, I think one of the coolest things about the cedar is seeing his bright and shiny ano colors on the scales, and it really makes the milling pop. But the milling on these is excellent regardless. But yeah, I think part of buying one straight from him would be the experience of having one super colorful and bright and being able to see those milling patterns really pop. And if I had spent, you know, $900 on these, I would want the knife to be a little more as far as like functional jimping and maybe a couple more little places you could put your fingers in comfortably. So that's a whole different talk as far as like, I do like the blade shape. I like the way the blade window matches the scales. Think it makes the knife look really clean. I wish this corner was cut off up here so that this nice big area up here could be used as a front flipper. And I might make a mod to one of these and take off that front corner on the scales just to see how it feels as a front flipper, since I've got 3 of them. I was thinking about that would be a cool mod for us to do one Thursday, is to take off the corner of one of these knives and turn a front flipper into, turn a non-front flipper into a front flipper, kind of like we did for Fred. But yeah, so that's what I learned during the night about these new clones is they're getting them dialed in. Good morning. Where, JD? Is that JD? Audiolitis. Good morning, sir. Y'all probably hopped in while I was talking about these cedars. But man, do they have such smooth action. I'm just super impressed with how good of all the action is and how consistent they're getting. All the detent feels great on all of them. All the action feels super hydraulic. Just about perfect. You couldn't ask for any better. Like I said, for around $100, I would take copies of $1,000 knives all day long in this quality. Morning, TC. And I will like some of the designs better than others, but as long as they all feel equally like this, same detent, same closing action, same lockup, then I'm good. Just start cranking them out. Give me the chance to feel $50,000 knives this year. And I will be a customer. So, after all of that, let's see what kind of links I had. Oh, I wanted to show what Mr. Whalen did yesterday. He said he was thinking about doing some mirror polish, and he did. And it turned out great. That blade looks wonderful. He did the blade and the clip. There's the blade. You can see how great it looks. Super easy thing to learn how to do. And if you take a little time sitting around, you can get results like this on your second or third attempt. I'm not trying to downplay the great job he did at all, but he'll be one to tell you too. As long as you take a little time and get the right equipment, it's not an impossible thing to get done. But he did a great job once again. Let's see what else here. Here's the picture that Ed posted that made me think he wasn't at work last night. And there's the picture of the big and little brother lands. And there's a shot of those three side by side. Oh yeah, keep it scale stupid. I can hopefully improve the jimping. I'm going to work on that for sure. Mr. JT got him or that's what is that a new knife or is that something he already had? That's what he carried. That's what he had in his pocket yesterday. I almost bought a giant melon knife. Morning, Scott. Good to see you. Yeah, pizza dough cutter. So that's what Mr. John had. DC was carrying some bangers yesterday with his Big Nick Energy Hank. Grateful had his Something Obscene Lek. I like the Goonies pin. And Aaron D2 with a Vosteed banger. Yeah, Ed, figuring out what to carry is rough sometimes, but out of all those knives in those hard cases yesterday, that's the one I picked out to carry. And it was so good, it made it all the way to work. In my back pocket. And I used it a couple of times last night. Good morning, Shady. Hope you're doing well, sir. Getting this week started off great. It's going to be a good week. I can feel it. All right. I looked a little while last night for that link to that slip joint knife that I was trying to find yesterday with no luck. I hate when you see something brand new and you know there's not going to be any kind of like history about articles on it, and then you try to go find it again, because that's literally probably the only video or talking about it. Oh, that's funny. Have y'all seen I want to show y'all a video. It is Nick Shabazz on YouTube. If y'all aren't familiar with him, you need to check him out. He's got a very distinct voice, which and I was trying to find the video they used. Well, I don't know where it is. But let me show you let me see if I can find it. Hold on. Give me just a second. Nick Shabazz. Well, I don't see it in his videos, so we'll just have to watch the little snippet. Well, now I just missed the... Oh my goodness. I'm losing it. Sorry, guys. Not very organized this morning. Good grief. Get me back to where I was.
This little fellow right here. Indeed, we have this little fellow right here, the Grimsmo Fjell. Now, this is not a knife I've handled before, ever. And by the way, they didn't have anything they could do bronze to match the aesthetic. But this has a couple of things going for it. First off, it is an integral pocket knife, right? This whole piece is one piece of material. It is a titanium taco, so to speak, with maple syrup, I suppose.
Nick Shabazz does some good videos. I like him. Yeah, I can't find the whole video, and that makes me mad. Oh, there's a link to it right here. It's his newest video. Okay.
Hey everybody, Nick here, and today I have an unboxing for you. And I know what you're thinking, Nick, you don't do unboxings. What the heck? Well, yeah, that's generally true, but this one is maybe a little bit... I decided I was going to put my money where my mouth is. And I wanted to support an artist in the knife industry who really, I think, is doing it generally right. And this isn't the first time you've heard about this artist, right? In fact, for a very long time, I have talked on this channel about Grimsmo Knives, right? These are folks, they're based up in the south of Canada, actually only a couple hours away from where I lived over by the Michigan. But nevertheless, they are folks who I really appreciate their approach to knife making, and I've had a number of their pieces, right? I had an original, well, not an original, but like one of the early run Norsemen.
2 days ago.
I've had this guy for a very long time, Norseman number 821. I'm going to see how the number is jumped, etc. But I have been a big fan of the Grimsmo's work for a long time because I think they are, by and large, doing a lot of things right. Latest version of the Grimsmo Rask, right? But I've had a bunch of Grimsmo stuff. I've got their, well, I've had their pen. I guess I've got their pen, spoiler alert, which I really appreciated. And all of it is very, very extra, right? It is done by people, right? You know.
So let's see what he's got.
Like that. And let's get a little thick. Different approach. I don't know, but what I want to go ahead and do is unbox these and take a look and let you see the configuration that I settled on, and we'll just kind of start over here and see what we got. This is a lot of money I splashed out on this, right? This is slightly ridiculous. Oh, that's a pretty case color. Kind of matches the channel. It's beautiful, right? Let's see what we got in here. Big money, big money. Well, yes, technically big money no matter what, but this is the Norseman. Okay, beautiful. The color that I asked them for is, well, this. I wanted them to do a Norseman that was in a blue, nicely anodized blue here with the bronze hardware. And the reason for that is because if you go back, ooh, that's nice, 8,161 as opposed to 821. They've made a couple changes back, you know, in the interim, so to speak. But anyways, if you go back to my very earliest videos about the Norsemen and earliest videos on the channel...
No, we're just doing a review. I mean, we're just doing a... What do you call it? A reaction video here. We're reacting to Mr. Nick Shabazz. Skipping around and pausing it.
Grimsmo Norseman was very prominent.
And I'm going to talk over it a little.
To kind of pay homage to that because I always liked it, and in my mind it was always a very kind of important aspect of the I don't know, it was an important part of the early channel. And so I asked for that. I also
JD, we talked about
because I really, for whatever
anybody
reason,
that gets one and stares at it for a while, you'll start to appreciate
right?
the weird blade.
I wanted to do
I thought it was ugly as crap too until I had
There's nothing
a copy of
particularly
one
special or custom about it, to the best of my knowledge here. It is just a, it's just a Norseman, so to speak, and using sort of the off-the-shelf configurations. Nothing.
All right, we got a Norseman. What's next?
How really impressive. That's good. Bam. Oh, And here we go. Big money, big money, big money. And bam. Oh, this is the fiel. Okay, I'm closing it. I'm closing it. That's the new one. We're going to put that one aside for a moment. I just had a glimpse, but let's be climactic about it. I'll try not to climax, but, you know, depending on how good the action is. Anyways, I digress. Whoa there. Okay, I have been given an assortment of stickers. That's cool. Damn. It's a lot of freaking stickers. Anyway, so I got a bunch of freaking Norseman stickers here, as well as a freaking notebook, which is quite, yeah, it's pretty. But I'll put the...
All right, what is
although, who knows? Maybe they're just playing a rasky game. Huh? Okay, here we go, here we go, here we go, and boom! Saga. Okay. Lovely. This is the Grimsmo Saga. The configuration I ordered here is a plain Jane barrel without the little Norsey dudes down at the bottom of the barrel. That to me never really worked that well. But we see here that the coloration matches your Norseman here. And so, beautiful. That is a Saga. That is a very nice Saga. Looks like we've got number 8333. All right. Beautiful. So we have ourselves a Saga. The Saga continues.
Those custom boxes with the...
Okay, that was
pretty nice.
Low-hanging fruit. All right, let's pop this guy open. I'm going to go on ahead and assume through process of elimination that this is the rasp, right? But who knows? Who knows? Actually, I know. That's going to be very weird if it isn't. We'll put it that way. So let's pop this guy open. Here we go, here we go, here we go, and bam! Yep, that's a rasp. All right, lovely. The configuration I chose here is the sort of pinstripey look. Very similar, again, coloration to the first Norseman. Looks like 3801. Oh, that's nice. That's a good action. We do have to assume, by the way, that these are the very best quality controlled one of these guys ever. I should throw this out there, right? Although I did pay money, we do have to assume these are the very best quality controlled one of these guys ever. And I'm doing my best not to let that affect the nature or quality of my review, although... At some level, that's a ridiculous thing to say about the Grimsmo stuff, because the fact that they are some of the best quality controlled knives ever means something. That's kind of the point, right? Like I said earlier, this is a person who, like, recreationally microscopes his parts, which we're going to go on ahead and just leave that sentence further untouched. 38, it looks like there's, as opposed to 1531 over here. And so... it looks like there's a difference in how the engraving was done. This guy looks to be... Maybe this is lasered? That could be. Or etched. Either way, the engraving is a little bit different. But 3801 versus 1531. Aside from that, they look very similar at a glance. I wasn't expecting... This
I love the rasp.
Carried a bunch and used.
All right, let's see the fiel.
And kind of a weird, but nevertheless, you know, they started off with a fixed blade. They did the Norseman. They've done the rag. I think it doesn't talk about.
Come on. Come on, Nick.
Made very teased big knife. These are large pocket knives, and generally, right here, this is the TRM Neutron, and this is these are bigger. Right, and so the idea of a knife that is made like the Grimsmos make their knives, but at a size that fits better with the daily carry needs that I tend to have, well, that was somewhat appealing. And so they've been teasing this forever. John's been working on this forever. I mean, I'm trying to remember when I first saw Sketch forever, but it never quite happened. Until recently, it finally did. And indeed, we have this little fella right here, the Grimsmo Fjell. Now, this is not a knife I've handled before, ever. And by the way, they didn't have anything they could do bronze to match the aesthetic. But this has a couple of things going for it. First off, it is an integral pocket knife, right? This whole piece is one piece of material. I didn't
see your chat about the
taco, so to
speak, being bad.
With maple syrup, I suppose. But it is a titanium.
I thought I did see a little faded place.
It is a button lock, and you can see here that the button is recessed when it is sitting there, which is a beautiful thing. It's one of the things people get wrong. This is fail number 243. All right, I'll take it. And I am very, very curious about this guy. The clip slips in this way. Very interesting. Let's see how the action is. Please be good. good. Yep. And it's kind of almost a Wharncliffe. Well, I mean, it is basically a Wharncliffe. Yeah, it's Wharncliffey. It's sheep's footy, something. They got a sheep thrill out of it. What can I say? But, yeah, that's, oh, yeah. That is a very, very solid button lock action. There is 0 blade play, back and forth. Oh, wow. The inside surface of this, I don't know if I can show this on camera. That's pretty cool. Like physically, it's not like too hot for TV or anything. But yeah, that's pretty impressive. It looks like they've done a series of maybe plunge cuts with a ball end mill or something like that. The end effect ends up looking vaguely jeweled. Holy pardon me, speaking of things you can't say on TV, they freaking engraved the inner edge of an integral pocket knife. Can you see this? Is this seeable? Looks like it says Grimsmo Knives. I mean, that would make sense.
How did they... Man, that's pretty wild.
That's a flex, right? And that's a surprising flex. Like...
That's pretty cool.
What they had to do that, then, because one of the big things that I think was the genesis of this is they got themselves a big old 5-axis mill. And in order to do this, and I'm not a machinist, to be clear, but I believe that what they would have had to do is to use their fancy 5-axis mill, 6? No, I think 5. I guess 6 is time. Anyways, I digress, and they would have had to rotate the knife like so and do the engraving at an angle such that they can get a very small tool, I guess it would have to look like this, into there, because I cannot picture a way they would have done this otherwise. This is not folded post hoc or anything like that. It is right in there, right? There is one piece of, well, actually, no.
That's pretty cool.
There are 2 screws here.
Let's see if he shows anything else here.
There it is.
If not, we'll move on.
Those lines, because it seems to be roughly, looks like it's a 3D printed part. Yeah, it's a 3D printed part meant to slip in here. This must be a tool for reinstalling the bearing when you disassemble it. What else is under here?
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Ourselves a stick completed. Anyways,
those little custom cases are nice.
If you check me, the kinds
Nice combo of stuff there.
They're doing so much of the work in such a fastidious and or retentive sort of 151. I mean, I'd be like, good, proving.
All right, well, now, there's Nick Shabazz for anybody who hasn't checked out Nick Shabazz. Yeah, that's pretty fire how they got in there from the side, the middle of that. Now it makes me want to go grab my my Rask. I don't think it's not engraved on the end. I can't imagine. See what else we got going on. Oh, I thought it was funny. The guy that came up on stream one day, G23 Customs or whatever his name was, he changed his name to Fun with Knives right here. Fun with Knives 23. And he did an ano on this knife, and he had the same problem we were talking about with steel. So the inside of this knife has those 2 pins that are made out of steel for the adjustment screws. He doesn't show them in the pictures here, but it messed up his ano job because he couldn't take them out before he had to do the ano. The lock and detent pins are stuck inside. Normally they're in the blade. I told y'all with that knife that they did it differently. They didn't put them in the blade. They made the blade be able to slide around them, and they put them in the side of the scale. But he had an issue with anodizing it. Let's see. Anything else? Oh yeah, somebody said they finally got a good Kershaw, and it's from their premium um, a premium line in full titanium and S35 VN. So I didn't know they made such a thing, and I told him I didn't. I said amazing and Kershaw was an oxymoron. And so we went into conversation about how they used to be good back in the 80s and 90s. Then they started.
It flips it.
Yeah, that's a weird one, though. Apparently, they made a special edition of the cheaper Chinese Covalent in full titanium. I've never seen that knife. Titanium and S35 VN, but I also don't like the newer Kershaws. Yeah, I didn't know they made this one though. Okay. Yeah, like I've said numerous times, Kershaw and Gerber are two companies that commanded respect back in the 80s. And then about midway through the 90s, they both started falling off, in my opinion. They started trying to sell cheaper knives. They started outsourcing their manufacturing to cheaper facilities. And it kind of ruined their brand in my eyes. I remember as a kid going in, and if you went in a knife store and somebody had a Kershaw for sale or a nice Gerber, that was going to be the nicest knife in the case. And I've commonly said that the only two Kershaws I like nowadays are the Bel Air and the Iridium. I've had a bunch of the launch knives, including real ones, and I don't like autos. They've done a decent job with their autos, but with their non-autos, everything has kind of fallen off. But the Bel Air and the Iridium, and even probably the Mini Iridium, are probably the only knives I would get from Kershaw. Yeah, keep it scale stupid. Gerber used to have a good name too, but then they started selling them at Walmart for $12.99 and had the Bear Grylls special. And I don't know. I don't know what happens to companies. I think they get money hungry, start making some money, and they want to just. Could be a sign of, what people are wanting to pay too. Like everybody wants something cheaper and larger. The whole supersize mentality, like, but let's go actually check out what the latest offer. But so Kershaw is supposed to move all their manufacturing back to the U.S. So this one says exclusive. So I hope that they get their quality control up, but. Let's go to Gerber Knives and see what they're promoting. Let's just click on knives here. See what they got up here at the top. So the assisted opening thing, the Scout is a pretty good knife. I've had a couple of those. And it's not a bad little knife. It had good lockup. It was solid. It was smooth. But a lot of their assisted opening knives, both companies, kind of weird. But we start off right off the bat with a $32 knife, which doesn't mean anything. But then we go up to a $135 knife, and then half that. Then we get $160 fixed blade, their strong arm, which is their one of their stable sellers. Then we got a $27 knife again. Then back up to $185 and then $25. So it seems like they're all over the place. What is the Savvy? $200. Is it, okay, it's a crossbar. Doesn't look like a bad little knife. Customized. See what else they got here. The Assert. I like the adjustable thumb stud. I like the looks of that knife decently well. Huge sharpening choil. Textured grip. S30V. USA made. And you can get them to do custom stuff on the blades for you. Yeah, the Assert looks like a cool knife. Do y'all have a Gerber you like? Oh, dang it. Yeah, y'all can't see, but I'm just talking about Kershaw's anyway. I've only looked at a couple. The only two I looked at were these two. The Savvy. Sorry y'all can't see, man. I got to figure out something about dual monitors where I can see the chat at all times. The Savvy was the first one I looked at with 20 CV blade steel. It seems like their crossbar locks are the ones they're wanting to promote. And then this is a Assert. It looks pretty comfortable. Another crossbar lock. I like the deep carry clip. I like the adjustable thumb stud. Coloring's not bad on it. S30V. But $185 for G10. Wow, 1.87 ounces. That thing doesn't weigh nothing. Oh, Audiolitis. I've been wanting to try some of that. Yeah, I know I can do that, Ed. The only problem is I'm just using my TV right now. So I don't have dual monitors. I've got dual monitors over here to my left at my computer workstation. But this is what I'm looking up at. This is the, I'll show you what I'm looking at. And I have to make things go full screen because they won't look full screen on OBS if I don't make them full screen in reality. Because I'm only using one monitor. But what I'm looking at is just an 85-inch TV on the wall. You can see it's up in it's a big TV. You can see my camera over my desk in the bottom left corner there. But yeah, it's an 85-inch, and so whenever I go to a different tab down there at the bottom, I can't see OBS. But anyway, I need to have a separate little tablet sitting over here with just the chat on it. And once we start doing some broadcasting from over here at the desk with the laser and the 3D printer, I'll be able to use my dual monitor setup and be fine. But it's only because I'm just chilling, sitting on the couch, looking up at the 85-inch TV. That's only like 8 feet away from me. So it looks very oversized. Paralight, let's see. They got lots of cheap knives. Don't buy a copy of a Gerber, because you can get one for 25 bucks, 26 bucks. I've got one of these somewhere, the Paraframe. I think it's in a toolbox somewhere. Let's see if they got any way to filter things. Toggle filters. Let's go see what we got when we go to... Well, let's start with folding knives. Let's go with plain edge. Let's go with frame locks and liner locks and pivot locks. Let's see what we got here. Fastball. Guarantee that one is assisted, probably. I'm guessing with a name like Fastball. Is it assisted? Intuitive finger flipper opening. No, it's not assisted, it doesn't look like. Precision Detail provides light switching operation. I hate when they put in weird terms trying to sound cool, saying it's got a flipper tab. Or what's our new name for the flipper tab? Yeah, Ed, I've got dual monitor setups multiple places in my house. I've got a triple with the laptop and 2 screens, but the one I broadcast from is just a big TV. Yeah, I hate when they use terms like innovative, light switching, and what do they say here? Intuitive finger flipper opening. It's intuitive. All right then. Fastball. They don't have too many titanium knives, huh? The Savvy. I don't even know if that's titanium, now that I think about it. Their flagship. Carbon fiber. Scale. What's going on here? Why? 20 CV. Aluminum or carbon fiber, so it's not titanium. Frictionless deployment. So you're in space when you open this knife. Now it says it's got a pivot lock, but yet this picture does not show a pivot lock. It shows a button lock, plunge lock, which I guess in theory is locking up the pivot per se, but all locks lock up the pivot. So that's a plunge lock that they're calling a... Yeah, there's a pic in the Discord. I think it's in the randomness channel, maybe. Mr. Ed setup. Yeah. He posted it a couple weeks ago, but he's got a bunch of screens going. And my setup. Oh yeah, there's the other picture he posted. And then over here to my left, I've got two 32-inch monitors side by side, and I could be doing it over there. And the new part of the desk I'm building is over here where that keyboard is on the left. So my laser and 3D printer will be right there. So we're going to be able to broadcast from here soon. When I'm doing some stuff on the laser, and I'll be able to work over there a lot better. But that's what if I look to my left right now, that's what I see. And I've got a bunch of those cool, those dual monitor wallpapers. I don't know where I've got. I don't know what I'm talking about. Going back to Firefox. I need to charge my phone. Let's see. I was trying to find a picture real quick to show you what I'm talking about those cool dual screen wallpapers. Well, I could just take a picture real quick. Hold on. Give me just a second. Close all these windows. Trying to find the one I want to find. I've got a couple that are really cool. Got way too many on here. I'm having to cycle through. Like, here's a cool beach one. Where it starts on one side. I got a mess over here. I got my label printer set up over here at the moment. I got one with the Bugatti Veyron. Looks pretty cool. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Dang it. Guess I could just go set it to that one, but thought I would find it by going through next. Oh, there's a nice one. We won't show that one. Alright, let me just set it. Now it's making me mad. Let me just set it to that one. Because I can't find it going through slideshow, browse, picture, browse photos. Oh, I want y'all. This one's really cool. With the Bugatti. If I can find it, gotta be in here. Where in the heck? There it is. So yeah, I got some cool double monitor wallpapers that go like this. All right, sorry about that. I thought that took way too long. Dang it. Share to Discord. Sure, all of y'all have seen plenty of these, but this is what I'm talking about. Sorry about that. Stuck on the pivot lock button. These dual screen wallpapers are pretty cool. And the angle I took the picture at, you can't tell, but It spans across, and that Bugatti one's pretty cool. And when you look at it from the right angle, you can't see that middle line. I wasn't sitting down where it's angled right. I was standing up, but anyway, I can't wait to get the 3D printer set up and the laser set up to where we can broadcast from over there and show the laser doing stuff. And I can't forget to mention the guy on Reddit that had the problem anodizing with the metal and the titanium together. He also did a custom laser on the blade, so you can see it right there. Let me see if I can zoom in. You can see he did a cool pattern, but stuff like that would be super easy to do live on broadcast. What are we getting? You got a buck. What you've been looking at this buck Vanguard fixed blade? Let's go check that out. But that laser pattern on blades, we could do all kinds of crazy stuff. Buck Vanguard. I don't think 192. Yeah, that's a nice, comfortable looking knife. 420 HC. Morning, Cliff. Morning, Bill. Morning, Mister. Morning, DPC. Morning, Pete. All right. Yeah, that's a cool knife. And then what is Kershaw's flagship stuff? We haven't even been to Next Level pocket knives. Let's see what their newest ones are. The Bel Air XL. I mess with the Bel Air and the Iridium. The Pack Mule. I wonder if that was N690. 90-degree spine for spark and fire. 3.9-inch blade. 8.4 overall and 4.7 ounces without the sheath. Not a bad looking knife. The Pack Mule. Man, I get copyright strikes for every little song like that. I definitely don't give spotlight to Gerber or Kershaw knives. Y'all know how I feel about that, but that's a good looking knife. That's functional jimping, unlike the cedar. 90-degree spine. Lanyard hole. G10 scales. Take it apart for cleaning or changing scales. Nice sheath. That you can, nice thumb guard release button push deal thing. compatible with all your. Yeah, this video is weird. Just like their knives. But I like the pack mule. The ray gun. What in the world? I would say that is definitely assisted. Yep, assisted folder. That looks close to the one I got not long. Last one I got from them. What is this? This looks like something Pete would like. Not really, but kinda. It's the engravable edition. Because you know, you can't engrave everything. Yeah, we saw the Lamia guys rant. We watched it yesterday. Bill, if you go back yesterday, we watched the whole video and talked about my thoughts on the SPK guy. It was a wild video. I ended up saying I agreed with just about everything he said, but I think there's a better way he could have said it. Just my opinion. But Robin, I addressed that at the beginning of the video, but I will tell you again what I said. By the way, good morning. Oh, it's all good, Bill. So what I've learned is that now that Lemifshi and Juful are working with the same OEMs over and over again, the last few Lemifshi knives have felt great. They've had great detent, super hydraulic action. They're all using those caged bearings. So they all are super smooth, hydraulic, perfect shut. I mean, all three of these came in perfect. Perfect detent, perfect closing action, buttery smooth, and basically great milling, no rough edges, great lockup, everything about them. But they're all starting to feel kind of like the same brand. It's almost like when you pick up a Kubey, you can tell that it feels like a Kubey. Well, these are all beginning to feel on par with the Kubey. That, like, they literally feel like Bridgeport knives or something else that's Devo or something that's OEM'd by Kubey is what these feel like. So from now on, I think they're going to start feeling a lot alike as far as opening and closing. So then it just gets down to ergos and how you like the look of the knife. But as far as quality of craftsmanship and opening and closing and lockup and all materials and milling and all that, they're great knives, excellent knives. Cannot find a better knife for $90, my opinion. But then this knife itself has a few things to be desired. And if I bought an expensive one, I said earlier, I think part of the deal is getting one of his bright, shiny colored anodized ones. But like the flipper tab is pretty much one of those ones where if you don't get your finger out of the way, it's going to hit you every time. So you have to learn to just get your finger out of the way, which is not a big deal when you start carrying a knife for any length of time. So that I don't like about it. When you go to grab the knife, there's really only one position it feels super comfortable in, and that's right there. And luckily my hands are pretty big and I can get all four on the flats of the knife. Yeah, I don't know. I've been lucky with some of his knives, but I couldn't ask for any better action. It's got great sound too. They they feel like the Wakas. I mean, they feel almost exactly like the Wakas as far as detent and close, but they're all buttery smooth, and I didn't have to change anything. I didn't tune these at all. It's not like the most comfortable knife ever. The jimping is terrible, absolutely useless. Hopefully I can fix the jimping. And I would like to see one of these with the corner cut off, so I might do a mod where we do a front flipper corner cut off to see how it would be as a front flipper. But it's got plenty of room up there if they would have just knocked off that corner. So I might take one of these and use it to mod and put a front flipper on a knife. But shape and size of the knife is good for me. You can choke up on it right there on that flat spot. And I've gotten to where I do like flat places on choke up. There's a few knives I've said recently that were like that. One of them was the Two-Face. But as far as quality, they feel like they're starting to feel the same, which is an okay thing, I guess, when they're up to par like this. It would be different if all the edges were rough and they weren't rounded off nicely and the milling had little jagged imperfections. But as far as the milling, even down in there, I mean, all that looks very good. The dots on there are good. The clip on this knife was a little short for me. It doesn't feel like it's going in your pocket far enough. And you're finished pushing it in really quick. But they're all right. I could deal with this quality, and they could pump out 50 knives that were $1,000 or more, and I'd be fine with this quality for this price. And seems they've got the cryo heat treat down on the 154 CM, so I'm good with that blade steel too. And they're cranking out so many of them, and he's asking everybody what knives they want to see made. So I wouldn't be surprised if this year they really do make 50. At least maybe between themselves. That'd be 2 a month for each of them. I think they could do that. Are you talking about which Snex lock? The Buster? Or which Snex lock Civivi? Because he puts that lock in a few different knives. The Buster has it, and the Vision has it. Same lock. Do you know which model you won, Cliff? Robin, so what did you not like about the clone? I mean, what was it that made you put it down so quickly? Did it not open right? Did it not lock up right? Did it not close good? Like, I'm curious what, because I don't know if you can see how smooth that action is on this. But what was it that led you to not like it? I'm curious about that. Were you expecting, like, I'm just curious because I'd like to know what other people think when they don't like something, because that lets me know what matters to other people. And as a person who talks about knives, I'd like to know what matters to other people. Yeah, the flipper is bad. I don't like the flipper at all. Like if I was a flipper person, this knife would be terrible because it's the D10 is fine on these. It's very crispy, but when you use this tab, you can get it to fail like halfway. So yeah, if I was a flipper tab, if I was basing this knife off the flipper tab, it would fail. But I just naturally go to reverse flick and okay. Yeah, mine feel like the Strix. That's why I wondered, like, same bearing feeling, same good D10. I need to get out my force gauge and we need to test some D10 on some of these. But you can see it snap back into place, like, very strong right there. What did you say we were going to call it from now on yesterday, mister? Yeah, mine's got the hydraulic close and everything. Like, makes a good noise. Like, it'll do the, like, they'll do the 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock sever thing. They passed that test. Yeah, perfect. Huh. Something finger banger. Oh, yeah, finger banger or something. Finger bang something. So I started setting up for some nice photos. I didn't get it all done yesterday, but I wanted to show y'all a pretty cool shot this morning I took as I was starting to lay them out here. Let's see, share to Discord. Thing I love about Discord instead of Instagram compresses pictures terribly. Yeah, the angle, it's terrible angle. That's why, like, it needs to be up. If it was longer, like, if it's stuck up all the way to the end of the knife, then it would be a real snappy. But the fact that it's down here, it changes the geometry and it makes it just spongy and weak and terrible. Like, yes, I totally agree. This knife, the ergos of this knife are not great for the flipper tab. But I love how the blade window matches the scales perfectly on this knife. That's one thing I do love. And I just naturally go to that kind of opening. So I don't even touch the flipper tab if I don't have to on just about every knife I own. So totally different. That's why knives are so cool, because two people can like different things out of both of them. But I started laying out all my titanium clones to get a good picture on the table. And I started to go through here and line them all up. And I still got a bunch to go through and add. I haven't added all my newer ones. So these are all older ones that I got lined up. But you can see I still got, a bunch of my stuff to go through. And all my titanium spider codes are all back there in the back. But those pictures are going to end up being pretty cool. I'm going to finish those as soon as this broadcast is over. I really wish I could find that post I found these knife flipper guys at the knife shows, it's funny to see like the drum circles with the balisong guys standing around. And there really is a subculture of balisong people at knife shows. It's something else. That teal did turn out good. These guys just sit around in circles doing all kinds of craziness. It's a cool little art once you learn it. You saw a nanner. Where did you see a nanner? See what's going on. Oh, yeah, there's some different Bill, all right then. Bill said it. There's some different folks for sure. It's kind of like those people that got famous for flipping water bottles over and making them land right. Same group of people seem to buy balisongs. If you've ever shot a video of you flipping a water bottle until it lands upright, you might should buy a balisong. That's all I'm saying. But that's just my opinion. That looks like a Robin knife. Robin? Yeah, I don't mind there being little subcultures in the knife community, but that's what makes it so great is all the difference and all the different people, and you can find all different groups for sure. I like the group we got gathered here. Yeah, I thought you might like those handles too, Robin. Those handles look like your style. Let's see what else we got. Oh yeah, one of the Chinese clone makers said that he's only using USPS from now on. I guess he likes the fact that they take a picture when they drop it off outside the door, or that it can be tracked and traced by a federal company instead of third-party shipper. Just like y'all were talking about how Uni got busted. I think Christopher talked about that. They got busted throwing away packages because they were using Uber people to deliver them. So I guess some of these knife guys have gotten packages that say they get delivered. Here's a guy doing some nail polish work. How we talked, there's a mustard patina. So we talked about doing this for maybe the fixed blade, but you can kind of see what he's doing here. We've talked about how you can coat stuff with fingernail polish to make patterns. Good old gun blue. Salt. Ammonia. Doing a shipwreck and everything. That's what it turned out as. Pretty cool patinas you can get on knives. That looks super cool. I mean, not my thing, but for some fixed blades, it would look good to display. Yeah, Robin Dallum. Christopher said somewhere in his town they found a dumpster full of those uni packages, and there were Uber drivers that had been subcontracted out to deliver them, and for some reason they were just throwing them away. Look at these smock scales. Those are pretty sweet. Contour logo. Smockknives.com. Let's go check that out. I haven't seen that website. Smockknives.com, really? Wow, I didn't know he had his own website. That's pretty cool. So yeah. Past drops. I didn't even know that was a thing. That's amazing because I love the smock. Yeah, I didn't know he had his own website. The creator of the first button compression lock. So he took their compression lock and made a button one instead of pushing it from the other side. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I love my smock, so that was a good thing to run across. I'm glad I looked at that website. I mean, my smock just lays here within reach at all times. But no, I've not seen contoured ones either. I've got an extra set of titanium ones if anybody wants them for cheap. But yeah, that's cool. I'm glad I learned that today. I don't know where the ones are that we just looked at. Some of these look pretty nice. Let's go back. Let's see. Cool new smock. Kevin Smock. Orders at smockknives.com. 11/2025. So they're brand new. Yeah, those chopped smocks are pretty awesome. So there's a whole group of people that make them for themselves. This one is chopped and crowned. That's something I'd like to do too as a mod. That one turned out good. We've looked at a few of the chopped ones. I like that carbon fiber one too. You have to put the clip in different holes. That's for sure. There's a few different ones. This one, pretty cool. Is the one you bought? There's a frag one. Oh, that one's got a little blade. What does yours look like, Robin? Is yours carbon fiber or what? Chopped smock with dyed scales, heat color, and handmade tie clip. I think we looked at it one day and they took off. So like just quick picture. That one. So it looks like they leave the one screw right here. They leave this screw and then they chop it off between here. And then they add the clip. So they leave this screw. Then they put the clip screw even about right there. So they cut off all this bottom part of the knife. About that much of it. And then you got to cut off that much of the blade so that it doesn't stick out past there. And you got to reshape the tip of the blade so it looks like that, but up here. So there's some work involved to making a chopped smock. But super cool. I about cut myself just then. But they cut it off right underneath that screw. And if we go back and look at some of those pictures again, actually not right underneath it, halfway between, or almost to the next screw on that one. But let's look at some of the other ones. This one's about the same place. Right before you get to that next screw. So let's look again real quick. So, yeah, it looks like almost like right in here somewhere. So they don't take off as much as I thought. About where it starts to angle, maybe about right there. You could do whatever you wanted to do, as long as you reshape the blade to fit in there. And you got to have, I guess, you want, whatever. Yeah, I'd like to see yours, Robin. So post a pic later. The only other one is that chopped bug out that they actually started selling clones of. There's a guy that made a chopped bug out, and the Chinese found it, and it's pretty funny. So the guy that made one, Blade Chop on IG, that's the guy that made it. And the Chinese found it and then started producing it. And I've got one, but it's a cool little knife, the little bug out chop. And there's a post. Here's the clone version. I got one of those. But it's funny that the guy that made it says he has a cool post about it somewhere talking about how the Chinese copied him. And it's not even a real knife. But the little chopped knife. So I don't know many more that get chopped like that. Do y'all know any more? Do y'all know any more knives that people make chopped versions of? Chop. North Mountain Blade Chop. So that one post, let's see, what was the name of that guy? Instagram? Blade Chop on IG. Yeah, blade chops. I think with an S. Might not be the same guy, but I think it is. There's a smock. There's a chopped smock. See what else? He's done all kinds of knives, huh? There's a Strix. 3-inch blade, 4-inch handle. That's pretty cool. Chopped Strix. Got a bunch of smocks. Chopped Python. That's pretty cool. Chopped Chavez. I missed that one. Where was that one? Where's the chopped Chavez? Right. Oh, you were telling me about chopped Chavez? Did I miss one? What is that? Banter Warney. Melted edges. Scales from Way of Knife. That's a cool looking little knife. That's pretty wild. Oh, you posted a picture. Thank you, sir. Oh, there the little guy is. Isn't he cute next to his big brother? So yeah, they just put a 2-screw like Civivi pattern clip or something on it. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That other one you got's cool too. Search for one? Okay. Yeah, I really like the way that one I got on screen looks. And I'm not usually a fan of, but that banner, I didn't know Way of Knife made tie scales for the banner. That's interesting. Berg Blades Barber chopped. Pretty cool. Chopped Barber. Let's scroll down through here and see if we see a Chavez just on the off chance. What we got here? That's the old guard that I just bought. Chopped. Weird. See if we just happen to run across one down through here. He's got some wild chopped knives. There's a Christensen Maverick chop. Oh, slight blade reprofiling. Melted handle edges. I like how he rounds off the handle edges and calls them melted. All right. Chopped Chavez knife. Chavez Chub. That's the OTF. Go to Chavez chopped. Yeah, I don't see any on here. Yeah, it's pretty wild. Slice Bowie. What else we got? Ah, what is this? We Thug XL. Oh, he's just got He didn't chop that one. He just did the melted edges, where he rounded off the edges. So not all these are chopped. Some of them just have custom work. But a lot of them are chopped. There's a pair of 2 Tanto chopped. Wow. He took an exclusive knife that's hard to find and chopped it. Pete? What do you think of that little guy? I hadn't thrown up a like thing during this video. If y'all don't mind, smash that like button. Titanium Lotus chopped scales for a chopped PM2. Pretty wild. Keep looking. He might have a... I would have thought there would be a Chavez too. There's a Pina. Yeah, weird. What did he do to the... oh, I'd be terrified to try this on the real deal, but clones are good for practice. Haptic clone with flipper delete and studs added. Bronzed hardware. So that's a Hilberg haptic clone. That's pretty cool seeing. So he added studs to it. Nice. It's nice that he works on clones too. Could just scroll through a bunch till we... Softened edges. So he's got the melted edges. Skinny modded. Huh. Sway back chop with melted edges. There's that banner again. That's a pretty cool topic. There's a Dutchman. You know, that's one of the knives that I forgot I wanted. But I'm glad I just saw that. But I want one of the original ones. Brian Brown's and Tuya Knives. Here's a Dutchman in full Damascus on Knife Swap. The images are going to be gone, I'm positive. Oh, there it is. That was a little Brian Brown collab knife that I wanted a while back. Not sure I still want one, but it would make a great little fit pocket knife. Well, I didn't do that right. Here we go. There's the little micarta one. What is this website? Ukama.com? Ukama. Never heard of it. Weird. Mini ratchet wrench. Small hex. Oh, that's pretty cool. That's pretty sweet. Topo notebook. EDC slipcase. This is one I haven't seen, I don't think. Does it have a clip or no? Just for your pocket. Small tool and pen. Weird stuff. Somebody, Be Shady has a pineapple, I think. Don't you, Be Shady? My memory serves me correctly. I think you've got a pineapple flashlight. I think you're the first one that showed me one on stream. Yeah, I don't know about these clones. I mean, they are starting to feel a lot alike. And I like them like this. I hope they don't change to something I don't like. And this Land 140, man, I'm telling you, for the money, you can't beat this big old hoss. Titanium, and it's VG10, but I think, yeah, VG10. This is a big boy right here. 4-inch blade. It took forever for these cedars to get here, Bill. And this new Land 140S, man, it's so cool seeing just a small version of the exact same knife. Like even this little area right here, like they did a great job of just shrinking this down. I kind of almost wish they would have put the same 2 screws in the same 2 places, even though it didn't need them, just to continue the shrinking down aesthetics. Possibly. Out of the 3, this is probably the one I would get rid of. Let me hold on to them for another week or so, but if I do sell them, you'll be the first to get it. I think I might take this one and knock the corner off and make it the front flipper one, and then keep this one in full condition, and then get rid of this one because I've got a lot of knives with this pattern. Yeah, okay, there you go. Robin's got one for you. The pattern's different though, Robin. I didn't notice that. They looked really close, and I didn't notice it till after I ordered. But the pattern is different though. I do believe, unless I'm just telling lies. But I thought it was the same too until I looked closer. So the pattern on the blue is the cubes. If you bought the factory one, pattern on the blue is the cubes, and this one is the hexagons. Wait a minute. I got the cubes. What in the world? I ordered the hexagons. Well, that's pretty cool. How did I get one that they don't make? I might not want to sell that one now, because they don't sell that version. I ordered these 3 right here, but I got these 3 right here with this one plain Jane. That's wild. No, you're totally right, Robin. I was supposed to get that one up there. But I got this one with plain Jane. Good morning, Cat Scratch. Yeah, you see what I'm talking about though, right? I ordered, and when you go here to the ordering, I ordered a E, a D, and an A. I ordered these three. Maybe I got the E. But I got this one plain Jane. That's pretty wild. I don't know how I did that, but I like it. Well, all right, guys. I'm going to go sort some knives and take some pictures and enjoy my Sunday. I hope y'all do the same. If you need me, you know how to get a hold of me. I got a bunch of knives coming in on Monday, including a couple of new Monterey Bay knives. One somebody else had asked about. The one, let's see. I don't even remember the name of it. The pincher. So I got one of these pinchers. So we'll see how that big boy is. 4-inch blade. That knife ought to be, it ought to be the same exact size as this big hoss. So I guess we'll see. Yeah, Robin, I will. For sure. But that knife should be as big as, so that'll be cool to see. I'm getting one of those on Monday. And I'm getting one of the Rosalindas that I've been wanting forever on Monday. So that'll be cool. Got a couple more clones coming in too, I believe. But yeah, if y'all need me, make sure to reach out. I'll do the same. Hope y'all have a great rest of your Sunday. I look forward to tomorrow morning starting a new Monday talking about knives. Y'all hadn't hit the like button by now. Probably pointless asking, but I'll pop it up anyway. And appreciate y'all.